Good evening, Jai Hind friends, and I would like to thank you to the Joint Action Committee for Social Justice in University of Hyderabad for giving me this platform to share my experience, and also for showing their solidarity to the movement that is going in its FLU. And I would just want to share that what happened on 14th of April, that we were a small group of people from the FLU community who were celebrating 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And though it was a small gathering, but it was also a diverse gathering of people, which includes students, some teaching staff, and also non-teaching staff that are part of SCST Employees Association. And there were also some speeches that took place at that time. And I was also one of the speakers who spoke about basically the contemporary relevance and the challenges that we have on that particular day. And though the day is meant to celebrate the birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, but it is also the day we should not forget the challenges or the kind of challenges that have been thrown to us in the present times, and especially with the coincidence, with the conjunction with Rohit Vemula's institutional murder. So the speech was mainly revolved around the caste discrimination that many of us as Dalits experience within the institutions of higher education. And basically that was and how I tried to connect with the HCO issue also with the FLU issue, because FLU also have a notorious past of being anti-Dalit, anti-minority and anti-Adivasi. And as many of you may know that in 2014 they have rusticated 3 Dalit Bahujan students. And also even before, one of the professors in German department, Meenakshi Reddy, she also has the cases are filed against her for being anti-Dalit, for making anti-caste statements within the classroom. So that was the context of the speech. And after speech I just sang one song, and the moment I finished my speech, I see that 3 security guards barged into the crowd. They held my hand and they tried to drag me away from the crowd. And when I asked them that why they are doing this to me, so they mainly said that they got the orders from the chief security officer to produce me at the main gate. And when the other students also saw that there is commotion happening at the other end, so they also intervened. And when they also joined me and asked a similar question that on what basis, on what grounds I am being dragged away, so they again repeatedly said that they got the orders from the chief security officer. And when we tried to ask them where are the orders, on what grounds these charges are being framed, so they just said that they only know that my entry is restricted and I'm not allowed in the campus. So we had to literally plead the security guards because they disrupted the Ambedkar Jayanti that was happening. And we had to request them that at least let it happen, the event gets over, and then we'll talk to the security officer. And after the Ambedkar Jayanti, when we met the security officer, he mainly specified the name of the proctor, Prakash Kona Reddy, that from him he got the orders that my entry is restricted in FLU, and if I have to enter in the FLU, so I have to take permission from the proctor. So, but again, when we asked them to show us the order, with the pretext of collecting the order from the main gate, the security officer didn't return. And after that, I also filed a case under SCST Atrocities Act against the proctor, because just imagine, you are attending a peaceful gathering, you are celebrating the birth anniversary of, of the person who fought for the oppressed, for the marginalized people in his entire life, and whom many of us take as a source of inspiration. And then, like suddenly, some security guards or police people come and try to take you away. Like you feel that you are unwanted in that place. You feel that you are being forcefully criminalized in very unlawful manner. So that is something which I also felt at that time, and definitely I felt extremely humiliated and discriminated. And I still, by that day, haven't seen the order, that whether it even existed or didn't even exist. So when next day we, as students, try to meet the proctor and try to have a dialogue with him, we went with the application to address me and to address the other students also, that why this kind of a decision is being taken. The proctor not just, first he gave the permission to meet us, but then when we went to his room, so he started shouting at us that to leave the office immediately and to not to mentally harass him and all that. And like being the authority, like being the proctorial authority, it is his duty to address to the students. But he refused, he totally denied to address students. And then later part of the day, they tried to give me the order, which I just saw. I didn't received it because it is anyway not addressed to me. It is addressed to the dean, to the vice chancellor, dean of students welfare, and to the security officials. So now the charges that are framed against me, that it says that I have submitted my thesis in last year in September, and I'm no longer a student. I want to ask that how come they say that I'm no longer a student? I have, yes, submitted my thesis, but I'm awaiting my viva. And until and unless my viva isn't over, how can they call me that I'm not a student and an outsider? What kind of institution is that treats a student immediately with the submission of thesis as an outsider, but not even as an honorable alumnus of the institution? And the other thing that they have also mentioned, that I continue to trespass the campus after the submission of my thesis. And like trespassing is one of the ways that, because since I'm declared as an outsider, so I'm trespassing. But with that, they have also said that I trespass the campus and I indulge in anti-university activities. Now this is a serious charge, and also like a kind of this is a character assassination. By framing me as an anti-university person, we are seeing this trend these days, recently, that it is very easy that under umbrella category of anti-national or anti-university, anti-this and anti-that, you can easily make the person as criminal, as unwanted, and you can bar the person, from entering into your sacred agraharas of universities. So this is again the same thing that we are seeing this pattern, that also like being forced upon the students in HCU, that how they have been unlawfully been charged as anti-national, anti-university, and ironically as casteist people, and which forced them to come out from the hostel, and they can't even access the the university spaces, which made them to force to set up Velivada in the Shopcom. It's the same thing that they have framed me as an anti-university person, and now by debarring my entry into the sacred territory of university. And I want to this is something which yesterday also in the public hearing in front of in the National Commission for Scheduled Castes, we asked that on what basis, on what grounds these kinds of charges have been framed. And the Vice Chancellor didn't attend the meeting. It was attended by the Deputy Proctor and the Registrar, and anti-discrimination officer, which we never knew about the existence of anti-discrimination cell in our campus. It's like, and he is the one who wrote a petition against me, writing the most discriminatory anti-Dalit things in the petition. And so basically, the deputy proctor said that on 28th March protest, I was holding a placard. So holding a placard is an anti-university act. And the 28th March meeting, as you all know, that many of our friends and teachers were jailed by the Telangana police and forcefully taken away. And for that, there was a national call by the HCU JAT to show the solidarity with the HCU movement, with our friends who are jailed. And similarly, FNO also responded in whatever capacity it can. Like there was also a call for boycott of classes, but we can't do that. We don't have the agency to do that. And in a very extremely peaceful manner, the students announced that those who can voluntarily boycott the classes should boycott the classes. And we wrote the most anti-university activity we did was writing postcard to the President of India. So writing the postcard to President of India by by reiterating the demands that we had at that time with the movement of HCU is supposedly is the anti-university activity. And then we took a peaceful rally. We assembled at the main gate, and yes, I was holding a placard. But is it holding a placard for justice for Rohit Vemula is a crime? And then the proctor also said that I have a history of making anti-university speeches. And she said that I made a speech that day. I had to contradict her that I didn't make speech, I sang a song. So then she said, yes, you sang a song. Then, then it is even more funny that, singing a song for social justice is even a bigger crime. If it is a crime, then I will or we will sing for countless number of times, and not just for once, but number of times, countless number of times. If that is considered as anti-national, anti-university, then let it be. So those were the kind of nonsensical charges they have framed against me. And then the deputy proctor tried to quote some speech that I made in 2013 or 2014, and trying to say that how I am trying to make a mockery of the university administration. And I was just wondering that like how can they, why didn't they then, file a show cause notice against me at that time, And now they are basically, it is a very selective targeting, of the some people that they feel that they are extremely paranoid by their presence or extremely threatened by their presence. And I don't know on what grounds my presence is threatened, because I'm anyway not a regular visitor in the campus, but yeah, I do visit because my supervisor stays in the campus. I also have my friends also stays in the campus, and I have the full right to visit the campus. And so basically they say that I am an anti-university person, but again it makes me wonder that for that to be an anti-university person there should be some anti-university agitation. And where is the agitation that has happened in FNU in the recent past? So it's like they are manufacturing lies after lies just to target some students. And as we have seen that in most of the universities, the students who are mostly vocal, and especially the students who come from the oppressed, marginalized communities, they are being the most selectively targeted, because they are always being threatened by the assertion of the students who come from the oppressed communities. And in that genealogy, I think that I'm another link into that trajectory. And we have seen that in FLU that how the students who come from marginalized community have been singled out and been targeted. So there is nothing new in that, and the only absurd thing is that they making false charges. And also the order against me, just after the HU protest, they issued an order which is dated 29th March. And I also wanted to ask that why it took them 15 days to disrupt the occasion of Ambedkar Jayanti and then only take me away from the campus. I was entering in the campus even before, even the day before we were in the campus to prepare for the Ambedkar Jayanti celebration. Why didn't they stop me? FLU is known for its surveillance mechanism. It is so known that the student who even write a Facebook status message gets a show cause notice. So then why, since they have such high definition effective CCTV cameras and I was there around all the time, then why didn't they stop me, or why didn't they show me the order, which says that my entry is restricted. So it shows that, they also deliberately disrupted the event. It shows, mirrors the kind of mindset they have, the hatred they have towards not just towards the Dalit students, but also towards Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And also university doesn't celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti. And whatever, in whatever means we were able to do that, it's like that neither we will celebrate, neither we let you celebrate. So that kind of a policy. And the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, the member, Madam Kamalamma, she asked them that why they don't celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti, and they were then making all kinds of excuses that last year VC garlanded the portrait of Ambedkar, but this time she couldn't do because she was going to Bangalore for some high-level meeting. And when then the deputy proctor contradicts them, and she says that we garlanded the portrait in the admin block, which was shut for the entire day. So those kinds of lies they manufacture. Not just that, on that day they were even conducting internal examinations. So these are the, it shows that the kind of respect, the kind of they have towards Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and also basically to selectively target the students who come from the opposed community. And it is now very easy these days to just bracket all false charges, making you as a criminal on the anti-dash, whatever. So, yeah. Thank you.
Next, thanks Kunal for that talk on giving us description of the events that happened at FLU. I am actually shocked to know that FLU does not celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti even in this supposedly changed scenario across the nation. So I'm really shocked. I mean, I don't really understand. So this is so blatant, right? I mean, yeah, and so now we have Students Union President of FLU, Tony, coming to address us.
As you have already heard from Kunal, our university doesn't celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti celebrations. It makes it a point to go out there and disrupt it. And the only reason they can find is for not celebrating Ambedkar Jayanti is that it's a holiday. That is what they said to the commission. And the issue at hand is that a Dalit PhD scholar has been harassed during the Ambedkar Jayanti celebrations, which was held by the students on the eve of Ambedkar Jayanti. This issue gains relevance, especially in our present scenario, where across the universities in India, Dalit students, minority students are targeted by the universities, dragged out of the hostels, and forced into social boycott. Kunal's case is no different. Now, EFLU as an institution has deeply entrenched casteist practices. Their celebrations, the general celebrations that happen on the campus, Holi or any other populist casteist celebrations, they don't think twice about it. Now, aside from that, on the policy level itself, EFLU makes it a point to exclude the students who are from depressed classes. Now, let me give you an example for this. In the brilliant policy, one of their brilliant policy decisions is that Meritcom means a scholarship which is supposed to be given to all the students who are participants of programs in the university, is denied to a certain group of students. Now they've branded it as, they've changed the name of the scholarship into Meritcom means scholarship, which means that you need a particular amount of merit to be eligible to get a scholarship that was given to all the students, irrespective of their caste or identity, irrespective of their marks, who are enrolled students or participants of the university. Now, I would like to call this inclusive exclusion. You cannot check out reservation, so let us make the students suffer who get lower mark or get entry into the university. This itself is the very root cause, and this itself is the very attitude that we must question, that we continuously question in the university. And their replies are not substantial. They do not even count. They don't even bother to answer this. When we try this kind of insensitivity towards Dalit scholars, insensitivity towards the issues raised by the students, insensitivity towards any cause that is taken up, is the primary problem in FU. Am I audible? In addition to this, I'd like to, in Kunal's case, he was barred entry from the university for participating in a program which supported the Dalit cause, for holding a placard in support of Rohit Wemula. Now, we'd like to ask the administration, what is your attitude towards any individual who holds a placard in the letter that is given to the security guards by the proctor? He mentions that Kunal is anti-university, engages in anti-university acts. This is their mode of targeting the students who engage in political activity, who assert their identity, and in their eyes, who thus become a problematic element. And they brand them as anti-university and put them in social boycott. This is the kind of oppression and this is the kind of manipulative stratagem that they use to suppress any kind of political activity in the campus itself. And as Kunal rightly pointed out, the surveillance mechanisms of FLU are nothing short of chaining one to one's rooms. You can't even put a Facebook post saying anything about anything. And it's supposed to be a university dedicated to humanitarian subjects, language and literature. It is in this regard that we come to you and to tell you, to let you know, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your the kind of support that you lend us in our struggles as well. we are organizing the JAC, which was formed yesterday. The student union called a meeting and conceived a JAC, for organize a JAC, which includes all the students, organizations, which are of course not recognized by the administration, but nevertheless are active in the campus. We have organized a JAC with all the representatives of these organizations, and we are planning to organize a protest at Tank Bund Ambedkar statue at 11 a.m. We request all of you to come and participate in it and make this tomorrow. I'd like to point out that this is a time that identity movements, Dalit identity movements should come out and question the administrations, question the systems that try to oppress them. On this note, I'd like to conclude my lecture.
Next, Riya will, one of the students from IFLU will speak to us.
Hello. Firstly, I'd like to thank the teachers and students for organizing this protest demonstration. And one of the things that makes us most angry about Kunal's issue is the kind of impunity with which the administration could, walk in with security guards and disrupt the Ambedkar Jayanti program. This says a lot about the kind of politics that the FLU admin subscribes to. The kind of anti-Ambedkar, anti-Dalit moves that the FLU admin has, constantly been subscribing to throughout the years has now culminated in this. That this year, when the 125th birth anniversary of Ambedkar Jayanti was being celebrated all over the country, even if it was in the form of some kind of tokenism, most university administrations have done something or the other to celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti, and our university did not do anything. Like Kunal pointed out, that when the NCSC asked the registrar, why did you not celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti? There was a circular from the government asking university administrations to celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti. Why did you not do it? What does it say about you? The registrar said that it was a holiday. That's why we could not celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti. What he doesn't understand is that the reason why this holiday is given in the first place is that people can celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti. People can do something to talk about, to engage with the works of Ambedkar, with the politics of Ambedkar. So I will also talk a little bit about the events that happened around the Ambedkar Jayanti program. Some of the Ambedkarite students of our university also wanted to organize a seminar, a talk, on the day of Ambedkar Jayanti or the day after, whichever was feasible for the administration. So we had prepared a list of Dalit scholars and intellectuals and Dalit feminists who would come and talk about their work, their investment in Ambedkar, their life and their stake in Ambedkar. And the administration rejected the entire list. This proctor, the same proctor who is responsible for Kunal's harassment, said that we have a blanket policy that outsiders will not come to FLU and speak to students. So you can see for FLU who is the outsider and who is the insider. But I'd also like to talk about last year when the FLU admin, so the FLU admin is the only legitimate body that can invite outsiders. So last year they called Professor S.N. Balagangadhar. S.N. Balagangadhar, anyone who is, in the realm of academics or whatever, intellectual practice, knows the kind of position he takes on Dalit politics, on Dalit movements, on what Ambedkar has said. This man, with the utmost absolute impunity, spoke in our university, abusing Ambedkar in the worst kind of terms. He called Ambedkar an idiot. He called Ambedkar a moron. In defense of his speech, he later even wrote about it in Scroll. And the university, in spite of complaints, in spite of objections from Dalit teachers, professors and students did not take a position, did not comment on what Bal Gangadhar said. In fact, has gone on to profile and criminalize these same students students and teachers who objected to the way Bal Gangadhar was abusing Ambedkar. So, in this line of things, this is the kind of position that the FLU admin has been taking. And this obviously has a longer history. Since 2012, when the VC, who is going to be there for another year, 2012 she joined us. And since then, the university has systematically silenced any kind of Dalit assertion on this campus. She has banned the Dalit Adivasi Bahujan Minority Students Association. She has banned any kind of politics that talks about Dalit struggles, about Dalit politics. She has banned the Students Islamic Organization, Muslim Students Federation, saying that any kind of political organization on the basis of caste, religion, etc. will not be allowed on this campus. And now the only legitimate student body we have is the FLU Student Union. And so this occasion of Kunal's humiliation, of Kunal being evicted from this Brahminical campus of FLU, is also an occasion for us to revive, to begin again to assert the voices, the articulations of Dalit students and Bahujan students of our campus. I sometimes think, that the FLU admin treats the campus like its own property. Like, how you go to rent a house and then they'll say on the board, Brahmins only, vegetarians only, non-vegetarianism not allowed. FLU campus treats the students like that. It's as if like every semester when we pay the fees, we are paying the rent to be in that campus. And we be in that campus on their terms. And vegetarianism, of course, on Gandhi Jayanti, when a student mess secretary served non-vegetarian food in the ladies' hostel mess, she was served a show cause notice that how can you serve non-vegetarian food on Gandhi Jayanti. I have never heard of any such rule that you can't eat non-vegetarian on Gandhi Jayanti. I did not know Gandhi would be offended. And even if he was. So this is the kind of, there are no rules, there are no laws. It's all arbitrary. It's all for the convenience of the administration. So in these circumstances, few of the students, Ambedkarite students, the Student Union, SFI, SIU, MSF, we've come together to form a joint action committee and a FLU-JAC to take this movement forward. And tomorrow at Tank Band, the Student Union President has already mentioned, tomorrow at Tank Band at 11 o'clock in front of the Ambedkar statue, we're going to have a protest demonstration, and we're also going to hold a press meet to talk about what's going to come next. And we urge all of you to join us in this movement. Thank you.
Next, Kunal will sing a song which he was accused of singing.
Just before I became a controversial figure, and also this song I sang on 28th of March. And if they think that it's an anti-university, anti-authority song, it is. But I will sing forever and let them do what the hell they want to do. So this is a song written by Faiz Ahmed Faiz. हम देखेंगे. वो दिन के जिसका वादा है, जो लोहे अज़ल पे लिखा है, हम देखेंगे, लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे, हम देखेंगे, लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे, हम देखेंगे वो दिन के जिसका वादा है, जो लोहे अज़ल पे लिखा है, हम देखेंगे। जब जुल्म सितम के कोहे गिरा, जब जुल्म सितम के कोहे गिरा, रूई की तरह उड़ जाएंगे। जब जुल्म सितम के कोहे गिरा, रूई की तरह उड़ जाएंगे। हम महकूमों के पाँव तले ये धरती धड़ धड़ धड़केगी, और अहले हकम के सरों पर, और अहले हकम के सरों पर जब बिजली कड़कड़ कड़केगी, हम देखेंगे वो दिन के जिसका वादा है, हम देखेंगे जो लोहे अज़ल पे लिखा है, हम देखेंगे। जब अर्ज़े खुदा के काबे से, जब अर्ज़े खुदा के काबे से सब बुत उठवाए जाएंगे। जब अर्ज़े खुदा के काबे से सब बुत उठवाए जाएंगे। हम अहले सफा मरदूदे हरम मसनद पे बिठाए जाएंगे। सब ताज उछाले जाएंगे, सब ताज उछाले जाएंगे, सब तख्त गिराए जाएंगे, हम देखेंगे वो दिन के जिसका वादा है, हम देखेंगे जो लोहे अज़ल पे लिखा है, हम देखेंगे। बस नाम रहेगा अल्लाह का, बस नाम रहेगा अल्लाह का, जो गायब भी है हाजिर भी, जो मंजर भी है नाजिर भी, उठेगा अनल हक का नारा, उठेगा अनल हक का नारा, जो मैं भी हूँ और तुम भी हो, और राज करेगी खल्के खुदा, जो मैं भी हूँ और तुम भी हो, हम देखेंगे।
Black one. Black one.
Now it's open for questions and interactions. So those of you who have something to ask Kunal or other people, please.
Yeah, now to ask the question. In the Malayalam song, the lines, I don't remember the exact lyrics, but still. പാടെടുത്തയ്യേ ഇനിയും നമ്മൾ പാടാതിരുന്നാൽ ഈ നാടിൻ്റെ നട്ടിൽ പൊട്ടി നമ്മൾ ചാവും പാടിയിട്ട് ചാവാനെങ്കിലും പാടെടുത്തയ്യേ in the sense like we also ask Kunal to do the same, sing the song, else the backbone of our country will destroy and we all will die. At least to sing and die. And as you know, our campuses were completely changing into the Agraharas. We don't have any doubt still. But on the everyday we have to say the same to remember ourselves that this is an Agrahara, this is an Agrahara, this is Agrahara. It's like, and in the same sense, like when we submit the PhD thesis, we used to get the stipend up to the Viva time. And I think Kunal and other students from the IFLU should ask their VC and including their proctor, because proctor is not required to print the show cause notices. That machine will do that. So let them go and take a pleasure trip to Delhi and have a discussion with Manismriti Irani and then confirm it, because we also have the doubt. Some departments are still having the problem that if you submit your fellowship will stop. In some department they will give up to the Viva time. So we can get a finalization on that regard. So that will be the wonderful help which we will get from them. No, but how the university will deal with the students? That's the biggest question. And after the Rohit Vimla movement, we were very proud to say that in each and every comment which our HRD minister made, there will be some dialogue on the Badali section. She is compelled to say that. And if your administration or the University of Hyderabad administration is not able to understand that fact, then we have to teach them. I don't know the what way we can do that. But we should do some kind of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan in Hyderabad city, not to deny the right of the common people who do not have the toilet to shit on the public grounds. That will be the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan to clean the VC offices. And we will call our dear cleaning staff to come up with some water, because in the University of Hyderabad campus you can still see the blood of Rohit, and that has to be cleaned with the help of the water, nothing else. I don't think I can clean it much effectively than the water. When it goes to the IFLU, they should carry some fire stick as well, because there will be a lot of show cause notices which will be inside the VC's office even. And let them take it and enjoy with it. And here, I take this opportunity to give the complete solidarity with the fighting students of the IFLU campus. And I apologize on the other side by saying that this number is the original number of the students who care about you people, or who care about the discrimination or the caste without actions which is happening in our campuses. We are at the middle of the exams, and we say last time decided program as well. That is the reason for this less number. But we, university community of Hyderabad University, expressing our complete solidarity for all the movements, all the decisions which you take on that regard. And also, we clearly remember how you expressed your solidarity and how you came up with the food when our food was denied inside the campus. Or Aparao, whoever it is, we will continue our struggle. JB Rajla.
I just want to say, I come from a village. Basically, it's my childhood memory. Whenever there is a 14th April or Ambedkar Jayanti celebration, there is always a tension. The tension is because Dalits are going to come out from their Maharwada or their place, and they are going to walk on a village, walk on a common road. They are going to give a slogan which is going to challenge the caste inequality, caste existence of a caste. So there is always tension on a 14th April in a village anywhere in Maharashtra. I just felt whatever I was listening today, it's like our universities are like villages. Yes, already there is a Veliwada in our university, but any university which is a public space, it's a public space and everybody has equal right over it. But when they are turning into a village, I don't know how to respond it. There is no other way than struggle. I just recite one Dalit Panther poetry. It's a Babura Bagul poem which says, I'll say in Marathi first. ज्यांनी या देशात जन्म घेण्याची चूक केली आहे त्यांनीच ती सुधारली पाहिजे, एकतर भयंकर देशांतरे करून किंवा युद्धे करून. Which means people who made a mistake to born in this nation, they have to, these are people who should correct it either by migration to the other nations or doing very intense war. I don't think there is any other solution. Yes.
If nobody has any other questions or statements to make, I think we'll wind up today's program. We stand in solidarity with the struggle outside the campus in bringing equality in this nation. Extending our solidarity to everyone. We can to JB.